Time for a little footy action as we're back with our gaming guru, Gareth Woods. He is now joining us to review the latest in probably the most successful franchise, let's be honest, in all of gamedom. It is FIFA 20. Yeah. And it's looking good.
It's also, I got to add, seeing the latest numbers, the biggest game in South Africa by player base, by followership, everything.
But that makes sense. That's no real surprise. Yeah. FIFA is the one game that kind of crosses all borders.
Yeah.
I think a lot of guys who might not necessarily call themselves gamers might call themselves FIFA players.
Yeah, 100%. I mean,
it's just one of those games. But that's a proud tradition. It's a game that is fanatically followed. So what's the vibe here? Set the scene for FIFA 20, man.
So I'm showing one of the biggest new features, because I think every time one of these games come out, people go, yeah, well, what's changed from last year? Except for the obvious updates in, players and who's left, who's around, whatever.
That kind of vibe, transfer news, yeah?
Yeah, and also one of the cool changes they've added is, I'm showing you now, the kind of street mode.
Yeah.
So this was a mode that they had before, and it's as its own game. So I think FIFA Street was its own legitimate title. They're like, hey, let's bundle it in.
We'll absorb it.
It's a lot of fun. They've really made it really 2019, let's be honest, even though it's 2020's game.
But it's, yeah, man, it seems very contemporary, one that the millennials shall love.
Yeah.
What is it about FIFA? Obviously, we know that a good game of footy is a lot of fun, and this does appeal to a mass market in terms of who follows football. Yeah, we know that UEFA Champions League, Premier League, these are some of the most watched television properties in the world. But what is it about FIFA as a game that has made it the world beater, do you think?
I think, first of all, I mean, it's based on football. So if football's popular, the game about football's likely popular. But the other thing is, I think they've always done such a good job of making the game accessible but difficult to master. So you sit here and I'm by no means good at this game, but I feel like I'm totally in control. I'm not pressing buttons and wondering what's happened. I feel like, I press pass happens. If I press tackle happens. But it's one of those, as you go into some of the training modes, you realize the stuff you can do. The through balls, the 1-2 touches, the headers, all that sort of stuff you learn. And it's almost like every time you go into the training mode, which is very, very comprehensive, you feel like you're kind of like, there's that Matrix moment. It's like, I know Kung Fu. It's like, I know how to do like a through ball header now.
I've leveled up.
Yeah.
As an ardent, pretty hardcore gamer, is this game for football fans? Is this game for FIFA players? Is this game for gamers?
So I think the issue's always been, and where a mode like this appeals to me a bit more, is the fact that FIFA has definitely become a soccer sim.
Yeah.
It's no longer a soccer game. And so it's one of those things where you're going, this is more of a simulator. So if you are a soccer fan or a football fan, you're more likely like FIFA. But to be honest, most gamers who prefer a bit of, there we go.
That's how you do it.
Fans who prefer something a little bit more unrealistic, guns and weapons and power-ups and that sort of stuff, maybe they get a bit frustrated. I know, for example, we've spoken about racing games versus racing simulators. And, for ardent racing fans, they would love some of the games like, Formula 1 2019, But if you're looking for a racing game, then you'd probably play a Mario Kart or whatever, because you're looking for more of a game and less of
something that you can sink your teeth into. I think the nuance, obviously, is definitely a part of what grabs the football fan in this sense. Is this going to give the FIFA fans what they want? The fans have already spoken of it. It's the most popular game, but do you reckon this is going to be a standalone, or is it just another step in the continued rise?
It's a bit of both. It's continuous improvement. But yeah, certainly it's a strong game. I just came back from Comic-Con and Rage, and those lines on FIFA were always long.
Massive.
Like, everyone's waiting to play. They want to, try out the new game. And so, it's a good feeling, kicking the ball in the net. It's that simple. It just feels good.
And looking that good. I like the little stylistic features. It looks really cool, really contemporary. The pop culture element in it is undeniable. I think the esports is going to love it. But you wonder, is it a vintage, or people going to be like, it's not FIFA
that was a bit
2020, but time will tell. But it looks cool. It's got you more excited than most football games. So
to be honest, but I think that's this mode. You throw me into 11v11 FA Cup, derby matches, and it's like, this again, maybe.
I start getting
fair enough. And I think that's what's great, is they've realised that there are a lot of people who love their game, but there are a lot of people who may be on the fringes, and so they're trying to offer them something a little bit different. Obviously, the success of their the FUT, the Ultimate Team thing, that was always a big grabber for them. That's kind of continued. But yeah, I think what they've done is they've just added on a couple of extra features, turned up the stuff that people loved up to 11, and kind of, if you love the previous iterations, you're likely to love this one. And if you're wanting to, dip your toes into something a little bit different, maybe the street mode is for you.
Yeah, I think it'll still scratch that itch if you want to go and play as your favorite player in a derby game that stood out. You can do it. It looks really cool. Obviously, the gloss on the finish is really, really beautiful. And I think it's probably going to break all records now.
Again.
But go do yourself a favor, go and check out some of the casters, the guys that are playing the game at the highest level. Get yourself even more excited as well. And I'm going to say, if it's got Gareth excited, it's going to definitely get all hardline gamers excited as well. So go and enjoy FIFA 20, man.
Stream Fireplace.
The Unwired, where humans go for technology.